Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen news. The headlines in today's news. We're going to be talking about Alpha 3.24.2, load of changes there, CIG Reverts boost changes in that patch that was causing a lot of drama. There were changes coming to the Corsair, which CIG has now addressed. There's Use Mark II is arriving soon, as a video went out from CIG, a YouTube short. We've got 1,000 player tests happening in server meshing, and it's crunch time ahead of CitizenCon and Squadron 42. But is it unreasonable? There was an article that went out that I want to talk about concerning a 7-day work week from CIG potentially. Anyway, let's start with the 3.24.2 patch notes. They've tweaked a load of stuff here. They've done some polish to the HUDs and MFDs because there's some cool new MFD stuff with that patch. They've added options for new ships when they're spawned for the first time. The P88R iron sight is no longer flipped when using an optic. They've slightly increased the damage of the custodian. There's loads of performance stability and bug fixes. But in this latest 3.24.2 EVOCATI patch, they've also reverted the ship boost speed reductions to their previous speeds. So that'll make a lot of people happy. What's happened there then? Well, a lot of people were complaining that Master Modes is pretty slow anyway, and reducing the boost speeds significantly, like they had done recently in that patch, had sort of made the game even slower, and it just wasn't the right time for it. It didn't make any sense. There was a post on Spectrum, please iterate on Master Modes. Yogi responds to this post saying, these changes, referencing the boost speed changes, were not intended for 3.24.2 and will be reverted. That was a miscommunication on my side with the vehicle experience team. We will try out a reduction in boost speeds compared to base SCM speeds later, but it needs to be accompanied with a pass in projectile speeds and will happen in a more controlled environment. We have changes in the pipeline for traveling at different speeds, but in 3.24.2, that's not the patch for it. Right now, in terms of combat, the goal is to roughly mimic what currently Live has, because the resource network changes a lot of the underlying technology for ships. Shields, thrusters, weapons now use actual power for their buffs. And this is already complex enough, so we're trying to not introduce more variables than we can handle. That means we will not try anything new with the flight model in 3.24.2 besides a few smaller tuning adjustments. And in regards to weapon balance, Yogi went on to say they are against buffing weapon projectile speeds as a stopgap, saying the actual issue is that they don't have enough effective medium range weaponry. Guns are always going to be short ranged weapons because you cannot change trajectory of the bullet after it's left the barrel. There are certain ways to mitigate that, and those things are on our to-do list, but they won't be for 3.24.2. So really interesting there. Obviously they've reverted those changes. That was likely in response to a lot of people in the community going, these don't make any sense, why are you making it slower at this stage? And I do think that probably was just a miscommunication. They came a little bit early, but it could have just been CIG also gathering data on something during an EVOCATI patch to see what's the community feeling on that. Oh no, these aren't not the right time, because Master Modes certainly need some work to put it into a good state. Something else that was causing a bit of drama were changes that are coming to the Corsair. So yeah, there's been a reasonable amount of drama and criticism at partly an incoming nerf to the Corsair, sort of splitting its weapons from the pilot and moving 2 of its weapons to another seat of the ship. And someone asked Yogi, so is this intentional, that it's supposed to be sort of moving these weapons over to a different seat, and or is that just a bug with the MFD rework or something like that? And Yogi responded, right now it's intended to spread out the offensive weaponry of bigger ships more among the crew. It's been driven because the Corsair accounts for a lot more kills than we want it to. So basically that's just a first stab at getting that resolved. Whether more or other or different stabs will be taken, I don't know yet. I understand that the change feels a bit odd. Now, interestingly, I wasn't 100% able to verify that comment. I just saw that on Reddit. So take that with a little pinch of salt or grain of salt. But it does make sense that CIG are going to want to make these multi-crew ships as multi-crew as possible. And they are actively trying to make them less single-player friendly, the larger ships. They want you to either have like an NPC crew or AI blades running them, or, especially at the moment, player crew running them. I'm interested to know what you think about that, though, and the sort of reversion back to the higher boost speeds for 3.24 for master modes. CIG have also posted a 19-second clip of the Zeus Mark II on Twitter and YouTube Shorts saying, coming soon. So the Zeus Mark II, the CL and the ES versions are cargo and exploration respectively. We're expecting them as part of the 3.24.2 patch. Assumedly they're coming out at CitizenCon, but it might be the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo or just before or whatever. In fact, the roadmap update just confirmed that those ships are part of the 3.24.2 patch, along with the new MFDs and HUDs, saying, yes, these features are ready to go. There have been some more server meshing tests on the tech preview build. This is sort of round 5 of tests. And at time of recording, I believe the test was still up. So there was a range of tests on a 3.24 build all the way up to 6 servers with 1,000 players per shard. There are various oddities with the patch though, like missions are disabled and they want you to avoid rest stops because they've got tons of bugs. Elevators are quite buggy. Global chat doesn't work, stuff like that. They are still focusing on performance, bugs and stability. CIG basically also said they want to leave the test up for, up to 24 hours. They are going to leave the tech preview with 4 servers per shard and 500 players per shard up until morning ATX time for you guys to play. A lot of great data. We confirmed our optimization worked and saw great performance at 1,000 players, but unfortunately have another crash to chase at higher numbers. We'll prepare another build with fixes and optimizations and have another go once it's cooked. Thanks a ton for your participation. So yeah, great. Loads and loads of work being done to take the pressure off 4.0, get that stuff tested. We do also know that 3.24.2 is built on the 4.0 codebase, just with a load of the features turned off, obviously. That's it for the main part of the news, but I did see an article and lots of people talking about CIG being forced to work 7 days a week. So obviously that's a little bit of an exaggeration there. There was an article that I saw from Insider Gaming, and I'll link that stuff down below because credits where credits due. I didn't find reference to this anywhere else. And they've potentially been able to obtain some insider information, some internal emails. Star Citizen developer Cloud Imperium Games imposes 7-day work week ahead of CitizenCon. So yeah, this talked about a potential internal email and said that this email was sent to internal CIG staff and said, double down over the next 18 days to make sure that once again, we're going to create an amazing experience for our community. This includes finalizing patch 3.24.2 for Star Citizen and having a Squadron 42 demo showcase for Chapter 1. And then the article goes on to say, this means for the next 2 weekends, we'll be mandating extra time for all of those working on deliverables for CitizenCon, saying that they want staff in on the next Friday, Saturday, and potentially even the Sunday for the next 2 weeks. And typically Fridays would be work from home day, and Sunday they said, yeah, you can actually work from home these days, but we're trying to get people in the office if possible. You get time off in lieu, as in those extra days you work, you can take off as time off later. The original sort of article writer here, Insider Gaming, says, we understand that the recent mandate is the latest in a slew of ridiculous requirements imposed on its developers due to mismanagement, leading to some leaving the company entirely. So I totally disagree with that. I don't think that's actually that bad in terms of crunch. CIG certainly do missteps and that sort of stuff. Every company does. I certainly don't know what ridiculous requirements imposed they're specifically talking about here. I know that CIG encourage people to work from the office for the most part, but they do have work from home days, and some people work from home still. I suppose potentially one of the reasons that Todd Pappy left was because they were trying to get him to relocate to the UK, I think. At least that's the rumour I heard. Apparently then the email continues, please be mindful to have 11 hours outside of work each 24-hour period. So please make sure you rest and don't work loads. I want to thank everyone that will be putting in extra time over the next 2 weeks. It will really make a difference at CitizenCon as we show our very best to show our appreciation. All of those who will be in the trenches over the next couple of weeks or weekends can have Monday the 21st of October on the company as a free holiday. This hopefully gives you a little break for everyone to rest after our long CitizenCon weekend and the drive towards it. So yeah, I just think that's pretty minimal in terms of crunch. I mean, and they're not even saying that you can't take other days off. They're just saying they want people in on those weekends. You might be able to take days off during the week. In UK law as well, you can't be expected to work more than 48 hours in a week on average over 17 weeks. So if you're constantly doing more than 48 hours over a 17-week period, that would be something you can't be expected to. They can't be forced to do. You can waiver that, but you can't be forced to do it. You might disagree and think this is a monstrous demand from CIG devs, but yeah, it's only people working on CitizenCon deliverables as well. I think it's pretty reasonable. Obviously, we can't be 100% sure that this is real, whatever, but I was excited by Squadron 42 demo showcase for Chapter 1. I did expect something like that at CitizenCon and trailers, announcements, that sort of stuff. But I am really interested to know your thoughts on this. Does this seem like CIG are being forced into a nightmare situation, their staff for 7-day work weeks for the next couple of weeks? Is this untenable, or did you not read it like that? Do you think it's actually pretty reasonable? And they don't seem to get crunched that much compared to other games in the games industry, right? Are you happy about the changes that have been done to master modes again in 3.24.2? I say changes, the reversion back to the boost speeds that seem to be causing some drama. And do you accept that obviously master modes need some changing and tweaks to be into a good state, but it can be made into a good state eventually? What about the changes to the Corsair? Obviously this seems like it's going to be a wider thing to lots of larger ships where they're going to be splitting the weapons to different consoles and different seats, so the pilot potentially has less in the way of control over the weaponry, at least on larger multi-crew ships. What do you think of that? Do you think that's just annoying, or do you think actually that makes sense? Are you playing in 3.24.2 on the EVOCATI? When do you think that's going to go live? Is it going to be a CitizenCon patch? Whatever your thoughts or questions or different takes on stuff, please tell me in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear from you. Also, something NordVPN. A very long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, CIG had taken over the development of NordVPN. And at CitizenCon, the yearly Nord Fan Fest, they were releasing their first game, Squadron Nordy 2. It's amazing, and it would truly revolutionize the FPS industry. Then I woke up and realized that NordVPN is already great and released, and it doesn't need an FPS module, it's a VPN. And you should get it now, links below, discount. Helps channel, read bullet points. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For October, it's for a Drake Corsair with a game package and lifetime insurance. All you have to do to be in for a chance of winning that lovely Star Citizen access and ship that can be used for exploration, but it's also this cool little multi-role, multi-crew ship. You just need a comment on any of our videos made during October. That will go into the hat. It's not a hat, it's a spreadsheet. It goes into that, and then a random person is chosen. With the addition of Alpha 4.0 and Pyro, there's going to be tons more to see and explore. The Corsair is perfect for that. Good luck. Please consider supporting the channel as well. We've got the join button under our videos that will make you a channel member. That goes a long way in supporting the channel, as does becoming a Patreon. It's pretty much the same thing, but for different mediums. You can also like, comment, share, or sub, things like that. That all helps with the channel hugely. We are also gathering questions for CitizenCon, so chuck those in the comments below as well. If I find any appropriate devs, I will ask your question, or I will probably amalgamate lots of questions together and make them more concise. Thank you so much for your support and watching, and I hope you have a great October.